I really wanted to get baptized, but I had a lot of heat from people who didn't want me to get baptized.
If you guys haven't noticed, if you share your testimony of the gospel on any kind of social media platform, you get a lot of negativity.
Yeah. Willing to die for what I'm living for.
That's the crazy thing on TikTok. There's so many younger people who want to share their testimony, and most of the bullying that comes from
Old people.
Can't fake or imitate.
I got a lot of pushback online because a lot of people did not want me to get baptized. There was like a lot of ex-Mos who were rooting me to not get baptized. And as soon as I did, the disrespect that I got was astonishing.
You can't kick us out because we not leave.
All of the scriptural references used in this episode will be brought to you by scripturenotes.com. For a free trial to Scripture Notes, please visit the link in the description.
I feel like we're giving away secrets here. Like, this is like, no one should watch this. This is like subversive stuff that's going on. But we're going to give away some secrets and maybe see how people can be a part of this. This is so exciting. And I know only this much about it. So Cammie, why don't you start us out and just tell us a little bit about Book of Mormon Squad and what you guys are doing on TikTok. Take it away. Go for it.
Then you guys can also see on the screen, we have Michal here in the studio who's got some amazing stories to tell us also in a bit.
Yes, she's so good. Okay, so hi guys. I am part of the Book of Mormon Squad. We do a lot of work on TikTok. We are mainly focused on protecting youth and young adults from bullying whenever they want to share their testimony. So if you guys haven't noticed, if you share your testimony of the gospel on any kind of social media platform, you get a lot of negativity. So
we've noticed.
So Book of Mormon Squad is kind of set up to help protect and kind of like give rebuttal to all of this negativity for people who want to share their testimony.
How do you find them? How do you find when just a youth shares their testimony?
Oh, they come flocking. They come flock. These people come flocking into their DMs, to their comment section, and then they just keep going at them and like telling them, oh, well, you need to know XYZ about your church. Did you know that you're in a cult? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there's so many people that come out of the woodworks and incognito.
Well, I think Charlotte's asking, how does the squad find?
Yeah, how do you find those attacks?
People who are giving their testimony.
Yeah, so on TikTok it's a little different. Like if you have your algorithm is pretty much set up to how you look through things. So if you find anything like Latter-day Saint or even Ex-Mo and you like the live or like the post or anything like that, you'll get more of that in your feed. And so Book of Mormon Spot is pretty easy to find people who have been under attack if there's lots of comments under a post, because it'll come up on your FYP. And so usually it comes that way. Or if you have other people in your TikTok community, they'll send you a post and say, hey, this person needs help. This person's getting like a lot of grief for sharing their testimony. So
that is so cool. I love that. So how did this start? How did you get involved? Who founded this? Like, where did it all begin?
Yeah, so Pat, he started it in 2020, kind of like the end of COVID era there. And he's done an amazing job posting and talking about and debunking things that he comes across on TikTok. And slowly but surely, he's kind of collected people to help with this effort. And so there's another guy named Josh. He started the Book of Mormon reading. So we read Monday through Thursday, usually 9 p.m. Central. And we would read the Book of Mormon live on TikTok. And that's been such a blessing for so many people.
Wow. So cool.
Yeah.
And are you just going in order from start to finish for the Book of Mormon? And is there any discussion? How has it been cool?
Yeah, so we usually we read the Book of Mormon. So every person who hosts will have a different kind of way of doing things. I hosted this past run through reading the whole Book of Mormon. And so I would read a couple of chapters, or not me. I wouldn't read a couple of chapters. It would be a group of people. So when you have a live, you have your main host, and then you can have up to 8 people in there reading with you. And so we would go in rotation, and we would read we would read a couple of chapters a night, but we would read 2 verses at a time. And then afterwards, we would say, hey, so what did you pull out of the reading tonight? Did you find, it doesn't even have to be from the reading. It's just like what came to your mind when you read it and when you studied it. And we have really, really learned from each other and gained new insight into what the scriptures meant for other people. And it was really such an uplifting experience to hear how the Spirit works through other people.
Are you streaming on any other apps or any other avenues, or is it just TikTok?
So currently it's just TikTok, because TikTok is the best way to have these lives with a lot of guests at the same time. And they just come up whenever we are live. They just come up, and it can be anybody. It can be a variety of different people. It doesn't have to be the same people every day. So that's the best way that we do the readings. We are starting to, ever since TikTok did go dark, and then came back, we are trying to diversify our platforms, but we just haven't found a really good way to do that yet.
Sounds like
So when you're
Clubhouse.
having-
Clubhouse might be a really good one. If something happens to TikTok, I know that you can bring multiple people on stage, moderators. I think it might be a good alternative if you're looking for something else. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to look into that.
Well, and sometimes I feel like you do have to be specific to the platform. Like there's certain things that will work on TikTok that don't work on other platforms, which brings me to a question I had right from the beginning, is I feel like sometimes in the church, we're very moderate. Like we teach moderation in all things. And so sometimes that means when there's cutting edge new platforms or new technology, we're sometimes late to the game a little bit. And so like evil will beat us there and we come late to the party, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious your perspective on that. Like what allowed you to have the courage to get on this platform? And were you already there? Was this already something you were familiar with? Or walk me through how that happened for you.
Okay, so I am so glad that you asked that question, because I had a story pop up in my mind a few times in the past couple of days, and I was wondering if we were going to get to it, and here we are. So the Spirit works wonders. So me personally, I came onto TikTok because of that moderation that we have at church. I felt like we did not have the opportunities to discuss the deeper things that may be not troubling, what people are interested in, right? So you're going to have a variety of different interests based on where you're at in life, just who you are and what intrigues you. So I felt like I couldn't get that in my average Sunday school. So I went on Facebook. That just wasn't it for me. X wasn't there. So I refused to have TikTok on my phone. But then I was like, you know what? There's just something that like, why am I just so reserved about having TikTok? I finally got on TikTok actually to promote my business. And then, and then I started coming across some feeds that was like, okay, this post is about LDS, but it's not LDS. And that's completely wrong. And so I felt such a pull to go in and like do responses, but I had to create a separate account. So I didn't want it mixing with my business at all. And so that's kind of how I even got pulled into it. It's just the drive to go deeper into doctrine, and then also wanting to combat the misinformation out there. And so when I first started my LDS TikTok, I did start going through the articles of faith and start just sharing the articles of faith. Who would have thought? And that is such a basic thing that started so many conversations. And then I came across Josh when he was doing the Book of Mormon readings for the Bomb Squad. And what a blessing that was to kind of dive in deep and really, really focus on the scriptures. So that's how I personally got involved with it. But I also wanted to say with all of this is that this is a story that came up in my mind for the past couple of days. When Peter was in the boat and Christ was out on the tumultuous waters and he called out to him, Peter had to hop out of that boat onto the crazy waters and walk to Christ. And I think often we get so comfortable and so safe in our boats, and we look at social media as the crazy crazy waters and the storm. And we say, no, we cannot go out there. We can't go out there. We need to be afraid of it. We need to be afraid of social media. We can't share our faith on social media because it's dangerous. It's, you might get beat down. Your testimony might get broken. And so I think that I wanted to be more like Peter. I want to go out there and I want to stand on the water because Christ is there. And I wanted to say, this social media platform is such an amazing thing. And if we focus on Christ, we can reach down and help others who may have fallen, who have not looked to the Lord. We can also be helped ourselves. I have fallen a few times, and other people have been out there helping me up. So we don't need to be afraid. We don't need to be afraid of social media. We don't need to be afraid of the crazy rocky waters or the storms.
That's
this
so
is
beautiful
here for us to use. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So, okay, let me recap a little bit. So we've got Book of Mormon Squad. You guys do live readings of the Book of Mormon. You're defending youth online who are trying to show their testimonies, and you're combating all of this misinformation on TikTok. So, Michal, how did you get involved in all this? Where did your paths cross here? I want to hear from the beginning. Tell us your story.
So actually, fun fact, I used to do TikTok lives, and it was mostly about true crime. And it was the last true crime I did was Idaho 4. And as we know, there's a lot of members that are in Idaho. And I remember getting a YouTube video of Alyssa Grenfell, and that's when I first learned about about some of the beliefs about Mormons. That
was the first time you've heard about Mormons.
No, it wasn't
from
Alyssa Grenfell.
It wasn't the first time.
Doing such great missionary work. Oh my goodness!
Thank you, Alyssa. Bring it down.
I honestly forgot about Mormons. I honestly forgot about Mormons because my mom used to have a lot of friends that were members because her foster parents were members, and she used to take lessons with the missionaries. She just never got baptized. So I had the Book of Mormon in my house my entire life, and I just never understood it. I tried reading it because I love learning about different religions, and I looked at this and I was like, there's all these words I don't understand, so I'm going to put this book right back. But I remember watching.
Pages are so thin. Pages are so thin. It doesn't feel like you're making progress.
And I saw that video of Alyssa, and I think it was about temple ordinances, and she put on that temple garment. And one day I was finished doing the Idaho 4 TikTok live, and I was really bored. I was like so tired of it. I was like, you know what? What is up with the Mormons? So I started a live I was like, what do Mormons believe? Because I really needed to know and understand what was going on. And that is when the floodgates started. Everyone started coming to me, ex-mos, members, people who were like, had their foot door into the church and foot out. It was honestly kind of chaotic because there was people who had like past drama in my life, and they were like, well, I don't like that person, so I'm not going to talk to that person. I'm like, I'm just trying to understand what's going on here.
Pure chaos.
It was just pure chaos.
That must have been so weird that you had no opinion of the Mormons.
Like,
and as soon as you asked it, like,
questions.
Everybody with intense opinions comes running.
And it was really weird because like, honestly, when I don't know who was the first person who came up on my live. I know that Josh was one of the first people to talk to me about like what the LDS Church truly believes in, and there was this hint of like, this is kind of interesting. I might have to like dig a little deeper into this, and I did. And every day I would have like a different live. I'll be like, I think one of my favorite ones were, why are Mormons so hot? And that definitely.
That's what I want to know.
What were some of the answers you got? I want to know.
A lot of the answers were the word of wisdom. And then some of the answers were, that's not true. I'm ugly. And.
Oh, wow. Self-proclaimed ugliness. Okay.
Yeah. So it was really, really, really fun the first couple of weeks that I started doing the lives. And then there was this level of like, I don't know how to truly explain it, but there was like this level of disrespect, I would say, from the Ex-Mos, because like I know everything about the temple because of them, and like going through the temple and stuff like that, and nothing was sacred anymore being in their space. But I felt like I still needed to be there because I wanted, before I got baptized, I wanted to know the ins and out and what I was getting myself into. But also I would feel like I was just trying to get both sides, because nothing is perfect. But I know Jesus Christ is perfect, of course. But yeah, like I feel like I was just trying to learn both sides. I wasn't trying to lean in too crazy. Like in my heart, I felt like I'm probably gonna get baptized. I was like, I'm eventually probably gonna get baptized, but I'm not gonna tell anyone that. And then I would always bombard these people with questions. I was harassing them with questions, I feel. And they got tired of me. They were like, you know what, Michal, just go to the missionaries. We need you to contact missionaries. We're tired of your questions, I feel. And that's when I got in contact with the missionaries. I found out that I had an institute of religion at my school, and I literally just walked in. I was like, all right, I have questions. So I'm going to need you to sit down with me. I had my Bible ready. I was like, listen, we need to get down to the nitty gritty. Like, I have a lot of questions here, and you need to answer them today. And then the lovely lady.
I love you so much. This is great. This is awesome. Keep going.
And then the lovely lady, she was like, you know what? I'm not the best person to answer this, but you know who would be? The missionaries. And I was like, oh, I mean, I was like, this church and their darn missionaries. Like, I get it. And then
hot missionaries.
I didn't get a hot one. I'm so sad.
Oh my gosh! I hope your missionaries are not watching right now. Oh my Lord!
Well, to be fair, they're babies. And I'm a grown woman.
We need to edit that part. This has been a special.
No, that's the intro. That is going in the intro.
Edit. Missionaries don't watch.
I don't think they can. Thank God. But yeah, and then I met with the missionaries, and I was teaching them, because I already knew a lot through like TikTok and stuff, and I was like doing the restoration. I was talking about the different visions and stuff. I was like, listen, I already know.
You're like, young man, I could tell you a story or two.
Actually,
young
woman,
young lady.
Yeah, that's why I said they weren't hot, because I'm not.
Oh, good.
That way.
Good. Oh, Michal, I love you.
But yeah, I was basically schooling them on some things, and I was like, yeah, this is what happened. How do you not know this? But it was really, really fun getting to talk to the missionaries, because like I already knew some of the basic things, or a lot of the things that they have to do for their lessons. So it was mostly like they were trying to figure out like, how did I get into this, and like, why am I knocking at their door, and like not vice versa, because they're so used to trying to find people to teach versus like me being like, all right, teach me like right now, like come to my house, teach me, I need to know. And they were just so astonished with that. So that was mainly like most of my lessons. Obviously I got taught, I was like, I already know this, like hurry up and baptize me.
Was there something stopping you? Like, were there things you'd heard that you thought, I'm going to hold off until I clarify this?
Honestly, I was just being a people pleaser. There was like a lot of people in my life that didn't want me to get baptized in church, namely like the Ex-Mos, and like I had some friends that were like concerned about me getting baptized. They were like, it's a cult. And I was like, oh, well, I already told you guys I would probably join a cult, but
with the true crime, you're all about
that. Like I'd probably join one.
Oh, MD.
Yeah, I just got the fun one, you know.
The funnest cult out there.
There's funeral potatoes.
It's awesome, guys. I told you.
Oh yeah,
It's
a good time.
Great.
Like there's funeral potatoes. Who wouldn't join this cult?
Hello. Let's talk about funeral potatoes. Haven't had some.
But yeah, that was mainly it. And then I started harassing Mormons everywhere. Every time I see, I could smell them at that point. Like
Oh, goodness.
There was
smell like?
What do we smell like?
Peach toast?
like old ladies, like an old floral lady. I can't explain it. But anytime I would walk into the institute,
excuse me,
anytime I would walk in the institute or church, it was like that same smell. Or when I would like meet someone that was like a part of the church, I'm like, yeah.
Wait, that's our baptism water. You smell like that too.
I
now.
probably do. That's why I drench myself with perfume, because I don't want to smell like that.
Oh, Michal, I love you.
We need a new calling.
Hilarious.
Fragrance coordinator.
Fragrance coordinator. Honestly, please. I would enjoy that a lot.
I nominate you.
I would
Amazing. Okay,
something
so
good.
you're on the fence. You're talking with the missionaries.
Yeah.
You're grilling them. Now
Yeah.
you're finding members everywhere.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then I watched the April Journal Conference, and I didn't really feel like kind of like attached to it, because it was about a lot about temple stuff, and I was like, I'm not even a part of it, so I don't understand like the temple ordinances and stuff like that. And then I kind of like took a step back, because like I really wanted to get baptized, but I had a lot of heat from people who didn't want me to get baptized. So, and like I knew that like Cammie and the others, they wanted me to like make my own decision. They didn't want to force me into it. They didn't want me to like do it on a whim. They were very respectful. They were like, you know what, we want what's best for you. If you want to get baptized, you can get baptized. If you don't, we'll still be your friend. And I kind of took a step back for a couple months, and I just had like that burning stomach, like, girl, go get baptized, like just go get baptized. But I had some like worries about like, if I get baptized, I'm gonna be like sticking out like a sore thumb. And that's when the October General Conference, when it came, and Brad Wilcox talked about his talk. I literally texted the missionaries. I was like, all right, I'm ready to get baptized, like dunk me now. Because it was just, I try not to cry about a lot of things, so I try to hold my emotions a lot. But when I think the verse that he said verbatim was, you can't be a lifeguard if you look like the rest of the swimmers. As soon as he said that, I was like, all right, you got me there. You got me there. And that's when I was like, all my worries that I had kind of was hushed. And I was like, yeah, it's time to get baptized, Michal. You can't just keep staying on the fence just because you're scared on how people are going to treat you, because you're a non-coffee drinking person now.
And that said with a straight
Does the president?
I feel you. I feel your pain.
Mad at you now? Why'd you join?
Well, there's some people that are like, ugh, like she's a Mormon now, like, but like I also
Now,
don't
are these
care.
your friends, like your in-person friends, or is all your guff from getting baptized online?
Well, there was some a little like, I would say from my mom, she was a little like, because she took lessons, so she was like, ugh.
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
thought your mom would be supportive. I was going to ask about her. She wasn't very.
It depends on the day.
Okay.
I would say like only that.
Depends on how you smell.
Yeah, it depends on how I smell.
No, you said depends on the day. When is she supportive and when isn't she?
It honestly just depends. I never know
Yeah.
what that older lady. But I would say I got a lot of pushback online, because a lot of people did not want me to get baptized, like at all. There was like a lot of ex-Mos who were rooting me to not get baptized. And as soon as I did, the disrespect that I got was astonishing.
Don't you find that interesting?
From women twice your age,
From
too.
women twice
Wow.
my
Crazy.
age, men too, but like they're all old, and I'm like, like get a life, like
Yeah,
I
just
got
go be old.
baptized.
But that's the crazy thing on TikTok. Like, there's so many like younger people who want to share their testimony, and most of the bullying that comes from
Old
people
people.
45 and older. Like,
Interesting.
yes, it's
really
kind of rough.
Is it
sad.
because they are like, save yourself from the life? I wasted mine in the church. Save yourself while you're young.
If
Or do
I'm-
they feel like it's their duty to save young people?
They're just miserable. They're just miserable, sad. They feel like they wasted their life. That's just it.
And it's really sad too, because I was friends with a lot of these ex-members, I guess, and like even though they left the church, and in my heart I felt like I was going to join, I wasn't going to like just cut them off, because some of their concerns that they did have and the experiences they did have with the church were genuinely sad. So like I understood, like, you know what, like I probably would leave a church if I dealt with this too. So like I kept a lot of the things that they've dealt with, and I was like, you know what, I completely understand, and I hope to God I don't have to experience this as well. But again, as soon as I got baptized, I became manipulative. I became like every bad word in the book. And it was really disheartening to see, because I've shared so much of my life experiences with these people, and I thought we connected on a lot of things, but it turned into like the us versus them mentality, like this kind of groupthink mentality. Just because I'm a member now, I'm an awful person, and I don't think that at all. I think I'm kind of great, but they're just really sad in that sense of like, I will see a girl that would get baptized, or even a young man get baptized, or go on their mission, or be excited about the gospel, or be excited about being a member of the church, and I could see them in the comments just being like really mean to these young individuals, and it's like that to me is just so disgusting.
It's so disgusting. It's so opposite of what we do when we have friends who leave the church. We're like even more friendly with them sometimes, right? Like we'd
like to think. I mean, I'm sure we don't
true.
all handle it real super well all the time, but
I mean, the desire to still keep a connection and want them to be. I mean, it's very different than just like, oh, now you're baptized, now I'm going to be mean to you, now I'm going to hate you. Whereas when we have friends and family leave the church, like there's a sadness and a longing to be back, like, and not a critical, and maybe there are exceptions, but I think those are more the exceptions than the rule, of just being even more kind and more welcoming when someone makes that shift. So it's just so sad that you experienced so much hate when you got baptized, but not unexpected.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, they're lost. I'm an amazing person. They lost a friend that actually would care about them. And I also have so much love for Jesus Christ and the Lord that their hate does nothing to me. Like, I wish them well, and I hope they could still make good funeral potatoes, but they probably can't because they lost the Gospels.
Oh, that's true. You lose that special sense. Hey, so have you been to the temple? Have you done baptisms at the temple? You were saying that they kind of ruined the sacredness of it for you, but have you been?
Yeah, I have been to the temple. I did a baptism once. I want to go again because it was really fun, even though I almost I feel like I had whiplash a little bit.
Did you have to do a lot?
I had 5 in a row.
Again. Oh, 5 in a row. That's
yeah. I was like, ooh, okay. After that 5th one, I was like, all right, let's wrap it up.
I just took my son for the first time. He's turning 12 this year, so he can go now, and he's like, oh man, I should have just kept my eyes closed the whole time instead of wiping them off every time. Like, just kept them closed.
Yeah. No one told me that. No one told me to keep my eyes closed, because every time I opened them, I was like,
that's Corey.
Just bring goggles next time, guys.
No goggles. No temple goggles, Charlotte. Okay,
I bet they make white ones. Come on.
No. But you are not alone. It sounds like the Bomb Squad has been doing all kinds of good time for a lot of people here. I have some photos in the Discord. I'm hoping, Cammie, you can introduce us to some of these people.
I sure
and
can.
Tell us some of their stories. So if we can pull up in the Discord, we've got this first one. Who's this? Oh, you can't see, Cammie, but I put him in the order you gave him to me. So I think
Mike.
This is...
Does he have a beard?
It's Mike.
No beard.
Is he a Breckman, or is he an elderly gentleman?
It's Mike.
He's young.
It's Mike.
Here, see if you
It's
can.
Mike. Okay, guys, Mike. He is a story. He has got to come on y'all's show. I'm serious. Okay, So Mike is a pretty well-known Catholic apologist on TikTok. He would have so many conversations with us trying to debunk Mormonism. Yeah. And he would go at it with us. He's friendly. He's always been super kind and super nice. So he would have debates with us, and he would also have debates with the Protestants. But he and the Protestants would join up together and have debates against Latter-day Saints. So
common enemy.
Yes. So it was just, it's crazy because he would also join the Book of Mormon readings. when we would have him live. He's got a wonderful voice, guys. So he's got a voice for radio. It was a real pleasure to have him there, but he was just genuinely curious about, since he was in apologetics, he thought it would be fair to study about Mormonism in order to figure out how to, debunk it. But
his
he
first
went
mistake.
But he went about
That's
it
how we
in
get
such
you.
a kind way that
Right.
he was all of our friends. Like we weren't trying to make him be a Latter-day Saint or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, one day, he had a few of our numbers too. So he just said, if I get baptized, I'm going to let, and there's this guy in the TikTok group. His name is Henry. He's like, if I do get baptized, I'm going to let Henry know first. Well, Henry texts me one day and he goes, hey guys, something happened and I'm not going to say what. And I was like, stop it. He said he's going to get baptized. And sure enough, like he couldn't even hold it in. Mike couldn't even hold it in. He went on, he made a TikTok post and said, hey, I've got some pretty big news. And I was like, no, for real? He's going to get baptized? But he didn't even announce it. He waited a few more days to like let everybody know. And I finally got his number. And then he finally texted me. He was like, yeah, it's for real. I'm getting baptized.
Wow.
And the thing that he said, that was like super interesting to me is that he said that he was studying Mormonism and he listened to us when we talked about how there's no proof of the Trinity, 3 in 1 in the Bible. And how can we go back to the Bible and say, oh, you have to be a creedal Christian in order to be a Christian when that's not in the Bible? And so you guys, I don't want to tell his whole story because you guys need to have him up here. He's so cool. So now guess what he does on TikTok? He does LDS apology.
Yeah.
Stop it. That is so cool. That is so cool.
So
Yeah,
wait,
I
let me
love
understand
this.
this. Did he not meet with any missionaries, or was this all information that he found on TikTok? So
So
he's
would
a
have had
TikTok
to,
baptism? Is that
So he did have some sister missionaries, and it's funny because I joke with him about this too, because I was like, because he would be walking around his neighborhood and he would talk about his sorry y'all, I got a phone call. So he talked about how sister missionaries would come around his neighborhood while he was walking around. I was like, oh, you're in the good neighborhood. You're in a nice neighborhood. And so he did end up talking to the sisters. Now he had no intention of getting baptized at the time, but then he would go to the ward, and he really liked the elders quorum too. He thought that having a group of men get together and do Bible study was awesome. So yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's Mike. Okay. Well, Mike's going to have to come on the show now for sure. I'm going to go find him on TikTok and watch all of his stuff. That is so fun. So next up we have Noah. Noah
Yes.
here with his majestic beard.
Majestic beard.
He just shaved it off.
So yeah, he did just shave it off. He was in a band, and so he needed some new band photos. So, or he still is in a band. He plays. So he needed some new edgy band photos. So he needed to shave his beard off, but he still looks
I
good.
think I
Still
could guess what band. If I do, maybe it makes me really, really old though.
I'm
The
not
long
sure
beards.
I'm not sure what he's from Mississippi, so
ZZ
he
Top,
probably plays
anyone?
a little variety
He
of stuff.
probably
But
plays a banjo.
Okay. ZZ Top. Come on. Am I the only one?
I got you.
Hello.
I got you.
Thanks,
I got
pardon. All right. I'm not the only one here. Wow. I'll play a
so
song for you later.
He mainly had one thing that he wanted to say. He said, same thing as Michal. Thank you, Alyssa Grenfeld.
Oh,
Yes.
Alyssa, we love you. You are bringing more to the fold. All right.
Wait, what did he say about her?
He just said that as I'm going to butcher his words here, but pretty much for how vitriolic and bitter she was, he was like, we got to look into this a little bit more. And then
Wow.
that's the beginning of his story too. Yeah. So
That is
that's all that
amazing.
he wanted to say, and he made sure he was like, "Here's my picture. Tell them to thank Alyssa Grenfeld."
Thank you,
Oh,
Alyssa, for the
snap.
baptism of Noah. That
I
is
love
so
it.
good.
And
Okay,
Michal.
Yes, this is awesome. Okay, and then finally we have Joseph. Tell us about Joseph.
Yeah, so Joe and his wife Dawn, they just got baptized this past weekend. And
welcome.
Yes. So he was Catholic as well, and he would talk to Mike and saw his conversion story. So it wasn't a big deal for him either. He was just like, this is a place I feel most at peace, and I'm going to get baptized. And so he and his wife just got baptized.
I love it.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
How cute they are. Well, this is so fantastic. Sorry. Okay, so how can people get involved in this? Because sounds like such a great way to share the gospel. I think this is something I feel like we're behind the times on, and members want to get involved, but they don't know how. What can they do? How can they find you? How can they be part of this?
Okay, so all you really need to do is get on TikTok and make an account. It's so simple. The platform is so easy to use, and you can reach out to me, Simply Saints, or we are Simply Saints, or you can reach out to Bomb Squad, and we are all on there together. You'll see us. Like, you can't miss us. So we will direct you in the way that you need to go on TikTok to get with the people that you want to talk to. We also do have a Facebook group, Book of Mormon Squad. We do have a Discord, Book of Mormon Squad, that's more for pro LDS content creators, but you're welcome to join there too. And you can follow me on X at Simply Saints. And we are trying to start up a YouTube. So that would be Book of Mormon Squad at I think it's Book of Mormon Squad TikTok is the account. And then my account is Simply Saints. So I will be doing more interviews about small content creators or people who are converts like Michal, and sharing their stories and how wonderful that is. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. Before we wrap up, I want to just ask if is there anything else that you want to share that you had on your mind that you think people would love to hear? Michal, Cami, anything at all?
I mean,
I don't know.
I would just say, like, thank all the Ex-Mos that keep getting people baptized. They think they're doing the dirty work, but in reality, they're doing missionary work, and I couldn't be more grateful. Also, another friend got baptized. His name is Isaac. I couldn't get a picture in there, but he also was from TikTok, and he got baptized shortly after I did. So I think that's 5 baptisms in a span of what?
Less than a year.
I would say like 4 months, because I got baptized in October, and then Isaac got baptized in November.
Oh, and then Mike and
got in December, and we just got those 2 baptisms. So that's great. So these baptisms are happening really, really quick, and I think the church needs to also utilize TikTok as well, because it's a great algorithm. Like, if you talk about Mormons one time, you're going to get a lot of Mormon stuff. But the thing is, we don't have enough people dispelling all of the Ex-Mo lives. Like, they have a lot of these videos and lives where they're just dispelling all of these lies about the church. And honestly, if you can download an app and get on there and reply and be like, hey, this is the truth, and this is the truth of Jesus Christ, then that's more than anyone else can do.
That's incredible. And do you have any advice that you wish you had known when you first started this? Maybe this is a question for Cami. Like, when you first started getting on there to share things, like, were there any mistakes you made that people can avoid? Or
so funny thing on the beginning of my journey is I did pray. I prayed about, like, where is this going to take me? I never served a mission. I don't know how to do all this stuff, but I do know the gospel. And so I prayed, and the answer was, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You need to keep smiling and keep going.
Don't you love that answer? Like, oh, awesome. Yeah. Here we go.
And so I'm still alive, I'm still here. So it didn't kill me. So I guess the advice that I would have for other people is, honestly, from the outside, if you say that, or if you hear somebody say that they're doing things on TikTok, don't smirk. Like, support them. You know, we all have different voices, and we all have different ways to share the gospel. And the way that I do it is going to be completely obnoxious to other people. And the way that other people do it is going to be, like, too sickeningly sweet for me. You know, so
yeah, we are very familiar with that here on WardRadio.
Yeah. So there's going to be lots of different voices that are needed to share the gospel. So if you're an outsider and you say, okay, well, social media is of the devil, and you're doing what now? Like, support them. And then if you're just starting, know that you will get pushback from people within the church and outside of the church, but you're doing the right thing. Focus on Jesus.
That's such a good answer. So great. So great. Any other questions from Charlotte or Brooke before we let these girls go?
Nope.
Well, you guys being the Book of Mormon squad, the bomb squad, do you ever get calls like for quick, they need you to defuse a bomb that they found in their basement or something?
Emergency.
You ever get that confusion, the bomb squad? No, I was just, when Michal was talking about saying like, oh, the church should utilize this, I think it's easy for us to just say like, oh, the church should be doing this. But then you think, well, who is that really? Like, is that the apostles? Do we want the apostles on X? Do we want the apostles on on TikTok? It's like, no, that's us. Like, social media is a way. It's amazing how you can connect with a lot of people at once, but then also with these people one-on-one and have those one-on-one conversations. Like Michal and Cami, you guys have never even met in person.
Nope.
And you would not have had this if it weren't for TikTok, if it weren't for social media. So that's the incredible thing about social media, is that it is a very new, exciting, broad, and yet personal way that we can be the hands of the Lord to help people come to know Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Cami is my mom, my second mom.
No, I was going to say, you need a shout out to your Mormon mom. Did you bring it?
I did bring. Okay, so
what was that?
My baptism gift was a pink scriptures, because that's my favorite color. And I literally made a joke on one of my lives saying, if anyone buys me pink scriptures, I'd get baptized. So Elle, thank you so much for my pink scriptures. They're all, it's
so cute.
Has my name on there and everything. But yeah, that's like my Mormon mom, I call her, because she was like, anytime I'd ask her a question, she would be so excited to give me the answer. And she's
all about the matriarchy. We've got the matriarchy and patriarchy together, baby. We can't do it without each other.
Amen to that. So yeah, it's a huge family, and like we kind of like take people under our wing. It's not just apologetics on TikTok. We really do take care of each other from the Book of Mormon squad. We're there for each other. We help each other out in any way we can. So it's more than just battling people on TikTok. We really do see each other as like a ward.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I did, in preparation for this, I did go and join the Facebook group, and that is exactly the vibe I got immediately on my feed when stuff started popping up from you guys. It just felt very like love and support and like family vibes. It was awesome. So I'm excited for more of that group. So everyone should come join. So fun.
Thank you.
All right. Well, anything else? This has been so fun. I'm so glad you guys came on. This is the future of sharing the gospel, and you guys are right at the forefront. And it sounds like anyone can be part of this. You just have to be authentic and come and be prayerful, I suppose, as Cami said. And this is so great. So thank you guys for taking some time to come on our show. And until next time, give them heaven.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Truth always hurts worse.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. We assume if you made it this far that you liked our content. So please make sure that you smash that like button and you share this video with your friends. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please make sure that you subscribe and you press the alert button so you receive alerts on every one of our daily uploads. Now, we want to make sure that we keep all of this content flowing for free to you, the viewer. And to do that, we need your help. If you're a person of means, please consider a direct contribution through Venmo or through Zelle. And the links to those platforms will be in the description as well. Also, if you want to help us out, please make sure you buy some of our merch. We got really cool hats, really cool t-shirts for both boy and girl viewers, all available on WardRadio.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for our Ward Radio newsletter. You can receive all the really great Ward Radio news directly in your inbox simply by putting your email address in WardRadio.com. And finally, if you guys want to help out purchasing some of the equipment in the studio, you can always check out our Amazon wish list that is also available in the description of this video. And either way, whether you're pressing this button here to make sure you're subscribed to our channel, or whether you're watching another video here just because you like our stuff, we look forward to seeing you guys in the next program.